You're still tuned in the Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network, Channel 500 on Starset. Now, in celebration of Women's Month, today's guest, let me just introduce her before we go into it. Now, Zaar Mabutho is the founder and Chief Delight Officer of Zaar Mabutho Pty Ltd. She's a facilitator of change in the organizations through people. And a principle she lives by is finding meaning and purpose in everything that she does. Now, her foremost skill is motivating people to meet or exceed organizational and sales goals, and she is very passionate about coaching, mentoring, and developing individuals to find the very best in themselves. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us, Zaar.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Always a pleasure.
Can we just talk about your name? I think the most intriguing thing when you heard Zaar. You know, can you just tell us a little bit, about your name and where you're from?
Okay. So my name, you know what, I always tell people that I lose the excitement when I then have to explain what my name means or where it comes from. But basically, my real name is Zandile. That's my real name, Zandile Mabutho. So very African, very Southern African, as you can hear. But because I went to a very British school, my name was butchered in all sorts of forms. Try and get the British to say Zandile. And I was called all sorts of things. So in the end, I just said, call me Zaar. Yes. And then it stuck. Then it became a brand. And, now everybody knows me by Zaar. So it became my brand. It became my identity. I haven't changed it. So, even, growing up, if the only person who really called me Zandile was my mom. When she was angry with me, like, Zandile! But when she's happy, she's like, Zaar. Then I know, okay. So that's where Zaar comes from. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. Now, just tell us a little bit about what it is that you do. I know we had a discussion off air, we spoke about what does a CEO is, and you call yourself a Chief Delight Officer. So just tell us what that is.
Okay, so a Chief Delight Officer, I think every organization should have a Chief Delight Officer. I decided to call myself a Chief Delight Officer because my purpose and passion is to delight my clients, be it individuals, be it organizations. Because if you are not delighting them with what you are delivering, then you are not delivering, according to what they really want, what they really expect. Our role and our goal as people should be to delight whoever we come across. Leave that person wanting more of you, more of what you sell, more of who you are, more of just wanting life. And that's why I think Chief Delight Officer applies more to me and what I do than a CEO.
So to take it from there, I heard you saying clients. Who are these clients? Like, what type of clients do you work with?
I work with all sorts of clients. I work with young entrepreneurs. Mostly my passion is for women entrepreneurs. I work with large organizations in all industries and in all sectors. I work with individuals. So I work with anybody who wants to find out, go on a journey of self-discovery of who are they. What is their passion and what is their purpose? Because if you can't answer that, you're never going to find true fulfillment in whatever it is that you do. Be it a job, be it an entrepreneurship journey. You have to answer the question is, who are you? And then when you answer that question, the rest will flow. So my clients are individuals and they're organizations of all sizes, and obviously women entrepreneurs, because I'm a woman and I feel I need to give back. I need to give back to society, to Africa. My passion is not only for South Africa, but for Africa, because Africa is in my blood. Just by the nature of who I am and where I come from. I grew up in Zimbabwe, but my granddad, my grandma, they've got Swazi roots, they've got Xhosa roots and Zulu roots. My mom's Shona. My dad grew up in Ndebele, so I'll call myself a fruit salad. I'm Southern Africa personified. So therefore, I love Africa and I love African women, and we've got to give back to this continent, and that's what I spend my time doing in whatever it is I do.
So just tell me a little bit more about what your company does exactly.
So what my company does is I'm a facilitator of change in organizations through people. So basically I go either into organizations, whether small or big, or even as an individual within an organization, and say, so what, and understand what the company strategy is, where are you, and where do you want to go? And how then do we make sure that you've got the right individuals in the right seats who understand what it is that they are doing and what it is that they're passionate about to be able to take this organization to the next level. So be it maybe transforming sales, transforming operations, or even transforming individuals themselves, which is actually my passion. My passion is, and once you transform an individual, you actually transform an organization. Once they understand who they are, what they can actually bring to an organization, and what makes their role special, what makes them special, then they shine. And in turn, then that then maximizes whatever the organization wants to achieve. Yeah.
So can we talk about what you actually did before you actually pursued now the journey that you're in right now?
What I actually did. I actually majored in marketing management. That's what I studied. And, I've always been the rebel. I've always been, now I want to call myself that because everybody used to call me that. I was the rebel. I was the child who never fitted in. I was the child who was too loud, who asked too many questions, who was the, you are a girl, sit down, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I've always been on this journey to discover, but who am I? And what is my worth? What can I really bring to an organization? So when I left school, my mom wanted me to study teaching, because that was a solid career. It was, you go and get a degree, you study teaching. She wanted me to get a BA degree. And I thought, but I don't want to be a teacher. I want to be something much more. I want to be Zaar. I want to be me. And then I didn't know what Zaar and me was, because when I grew up, there were no such things as mentors, especially in the black community. There was no coaching, no mentoring. So you literally had to find yourself, right? So then me being the rebel, my mom said, so what do you want to do? And then there was this new thing called marketing management. And I said, I want to study marketing management. I didn't even know what it was. And my mom says, you are not going to study that. If you don't want to go to university and do a BA degree, then you're going to sit home and eat pap and vleis. And then I said, I will sit home and eat pap and vleis. So after months of me sitting home and eating pap and vleis, my dad, who was actually into business, because he has been into business for a very long time and held senior roles within organizations, said to me, what is it that you want to do? And I said, I want to study marketing management. And then he said, okay, then go ahead and go and study marketing management. And then I went and I did, and I started marketing management. In the end, the first job I actually got was in the hospitality industry. And because it was in the hospitality industry, my immediate family were allowed to go on holiday with me everywhere I went, because I worked for Sun International. And I remember my dad saying to my mom one day, so darling, do you still regret that she didn't study?
I can imagine.
Because my dad's like that. He's like me. He's a joker, So, so there was, okay, so I then grew within the hospitality industry. And then from there, I left and actually went into education. I remember when a recruiter headhunted me, and they said they wanted me to work for a big educational brand within South Africa, higher educational brand. I said, education, and then it was ding, mother, teacher. And I said, I am not a teacher. I am not going into education. And she said, no, there's a business side to education, and that's what we want to chat to you about. So then I went into the higher education. I then went into a popular business school and held some roles there and some senior roles there. From there, then I left and I went into corporate. So I've worked within operations. I've worked within sales. And then my journey kind of like grew on its own, because I had no direction. So I took whatever role I was promoted into. And Zaar was very personable. She was very good with people. So what do organizations say? You should go into sales. And then I went into sales. So I became a sales consultant. I became a sales manager and a sales director. And I always used to say to people, but I'm not good in sales. And they're like, but you are achieving your targets. Look, you've always achieved your targets year after year. And I'm like, and then when I sat back, I realized the only reason why I was good in sales and good in leading sales teams was because I went to the heart of people and relationships.
Let's just hold it right there, right? As we're going to continue with your story. I mean, amazing.
No worries.
Let's just go for a quick break. We'll be back with more from Zaar. Stay tuned.
China's saying that the latest outbreak is under control.
Feel the heat.
The cabinet has decided to ease restrictions on certain other economic activities.
I don't want to be a white person who sits by and does nothing, so that's why I'm here today.
Feel the excitement.
We are here to unite because what we are fighting for is to stop institutional racism.
Feel the heat with Starsat.
God is so amazing.
Feel the heat.
The Bible says that through his death on the cross, we are now reconciled with our Father.
Forgive and you shall be forgiven.
So wherever God takes us, we're just excited about it.
As a child of God, where you are, you must have an hour of prayer.
Feel the excitement.
In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus.
I believe that God is working right now.
Feel the heat with Starsat. Feel the heat.
You said you love me.
I do.
You sure?
Yeah.
Leave my house and go.
Oh no, you don't! Get out of my way! Get out!
That is an abomination.
Oh, the love you promised me.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah?
Feel the excitement.
You don't know how I've been longing for this.
Feel the heat with...
You're still tuned in the Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network, channel 500 on Starsat. Now, as we still continue with Zaar Mabutho, you know, the most interesting name, I still say. Now, we spoke about how now you became Zaar, right? You are originally born Uzandile, but now you became Zaar. Now, talking about, you know, how maybe you've traveled the world, I'd like to know how far you've traveled into this beautiful African continent of ours and what it is that you've actually discovered.
So I've had the opportunity with my previous roles to actually travel the world. Yes. So not only Africa, but I can say to you, every single time I left Africa, there was something about Africa I missed. The rest of the world was just not home. And it's the people. It is the African, the resilience, it is the beauty, it is the warmth, it is the humanity that you find within Africa. I've traveled a lot in Southern Africa. I've traveled a lot in West Africa. I've traveled, I think, a bit of Central Africa. So I have, you know, traveled, you know, because I love travel. And I think that's the only way that people really learn. For my daughter, I want to expose her to us as African people, because as much as we think we are different, we are not different. We are all the same. We have the same dreams. We have the same passions. We have the same goals, and we come from the same people. So Africa is Africa. Africa is within us. So yeah. And I think what I've just learned is just we just all want to make this continent home in whatever way we can, and give to the continent in one way or another.
So like in Galaxy Universal Network, we actually have a challenge since it's Women's Month, and we've been interviewing incredible women, which you are one of them. So we actually have a challenge where like you have to adopt a child, like be their role model, and then they have to look up to you, you know, so like they get to learn what you do and be their godmother, and then, you know, and things like that. So we do challenge you that you go out there and you just adopt a child and mentor them, you know, coach them, and then they learn from what you do, you know, and become another Zaar, you know.
Oh, that's a great idea, and thank you for doing that as Galaxy. I think in my personal capacity, I do that a lot. I do that. I do mentor, you know, girls. I do mentor women. I have a foundation which I'm actually an operations director of, which is the Faith Mangope Leadership Foundation, where our goal is to get black, young, intelligent women that we can mentor and coach and take on the world of 4IR, because we are women and we know we can. So in my personal capacity and also in my workspace, I do that. I believe it's a concept that we should forcefully as women do, because I know how hard it was not to have a mentor or a coach and only discover somebody who could take me along in my 30s, and that happened to be a man. And it was always, all my mentors and coaches have been men. And I'm thinking, but there are amazing women out there, and our goal should be to mentor the girl child, mentor the woman, not to be like Zaar, but to be better than Zaar.
Talking on that, do you find that maybe that now as we progress in life, you know, us as women now are trying to now be in competition with all these men? You know, we're not trying to be the women that we are strong for who we are, but we're trying to compete with these men. Do you find it like it's a thing that happens around?
It is a thing that happens, and it's a thing that I think because we were always brought up to aspire to be like them, to be like men. I had a mentor, one of my mentors and a coach for a little while, Helen Nicholson, who's an amazing coach, said to me, the problem with society is from the moment we are little, from the moment we are born, we have a dad who protects us. We have brothers who protect us. And then we wait for a man to ask us to marry, to marry him. And then he becomes our protector. We were never really taught to be our own, to stand up on our own 2 feet. And only when you are older do you then get to be told, do this, do this, do this. But it's kind of like an unlearning process. You need to unlearn and relearn that I am woman and I am power in myself and I am enough. And I don't need to compete with a man. You don't, because you're not a man. Men should compete on their own in their own organizations. You are a woman. And because you birth life, without you, there wouldn't be any men. You're a stronger force. And you should not actually be competing with other women. I don't think we should, because there is plenty enough for everybody. We should be working and collaborating with other women to create amazing organizations, amazing foundations, amazing places where women just want to come and be themselves and be told that they are worthy and they are enough.
Amazing. So I just want to talk about maybe some of the challenges that you've encountered during this journey of yours.
The challenges that I've encountered, look, I'm black, I'm female, I'm talented. So you're always going to get somebody who's going to tell you, 1, you're not enough, or 2, you're too loud, or 2, the space is not for you. So those are some of the barriers that I've had to break down. I've had challenges where I have been given senior positions and I get there and I'm told to shut up. It's only because they needed my black little beautiful face in the boardroom. And the reason why I think I could never really fit into corporate South Africa is, as much as we don't want to admit it, corporate South Africa is still very male dominated. Whether it's white or black, it's still very male dominated. And we don't have a voice. And the only way I could create the voice that I wanted was to step out and say, this is Zaar, this is me, this is what I want to bring to the brand that I have. And hopefully I can take that Zaar into organizations and change them from the outside in. Because it was very difficult from the inside out. Because I was the one who was always, why do you have to ask the difficult questions? Zaar, not now. Or so for me, that has been the challenge of women who try and find their voice within corporate, but it can be done. It can be done. There are some amazing corporates out there who are opening up the space for women to be themselves and just be yourself and be different. But there are lots that are not, and I think that's the biggest challenge we face.
Okay. So like shortly, can you please like tell like other girls out there who say, oh, I want to be that woman. I want to be Zaar. I want to also go out, out of my comfort zone and just become myself and just do what I love.
Okay. So what I'm going to say, it's not easy. Nothing is ever easy. Nothing that's good is ever easy. So you need to be able to have somebody who can mentor you, who can coach you. Go into corporate, learn as much as you can. For me, if it wasn't because I went into corporate and I knew what I liked and didn't like, and I learned from all those amazing people, I wouldn't be the Zaar that I am today. So you can either do that, go into corporate, learn as much as you can, but make sure you find those right people to teach you. There are people that are always willing to teach. You just need to ask. You just need to ask. And the Zaars will be there. The Rorys will be there. The amazing woman will be there to lift you up and walk this journey with you. But even if you decide not to go into corporate, you can't do it alone. This is not a journey you can do it alone. For me, if it's not for my womanhood, for my sisterhood, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Thank you so much, Zaar. Very inspirational, I must say. And I really hope whoever's watching, you feel inspired as well as a young woman out there. Take charge of your life and, seek help, like Zaar has said. From myself, Rosangwana Hatswane, and Kurula and Zaar. Thank you so much for joining us on the Midday Express. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. Goodbye.